Hello, everyone. It's Jacob here for English at the Ready, one of your questions answered videos. But I didn't ask you guys this time for your questions. I just found the time and had the opportunity to talk to one of my best friends in the entire world. This is David. David is someone I met when I worked in Changzhou, China in 2014. And David has been and he's really and truly one of my international best friends in the entire world. It's a situation where you meet someone that you have so much in common with, that you understand so well, and you'll notice his English is pretty incredible. And I just want to go ahead and say that David has never left China. So as you're listening to him speak, how in the world did he learn English the way he's learned it? We're going to find out in this interview today. David, why don't you introduce yourself? Just tell us who you are, where you're from, a little bit of your life story if you'd like. I'll ask questions based on what you're saying, and I want to hear about you. So do my students. Feel free to drink some
Hey
tea
there, my
because you'll
name
see
is
me
Stephen.
drinking too as well.
Yeah, I'm from China. I'm living in Suzhou. It's not as famous as Shanghai, but in my opinion, it's the most beautiful city in China.
I agree.
Right?
I
It's
love
very
Suzhou
good.
too. My first year
Yeah,
that I lived in
standing
China,
here.
I was lucky enough to be sent to
Yeah,
Suzhou to work for a kindergarten and later for a larger English training center. And I loved Suzhou. I love Suzhou, Suzhou University, Jiangsu province, best province in all of China, in my opinion. David, keep
yeah,
going.
yeah. Okay, standing here, I feel both excited and challenged. The excitement is to be. I got the chance to talk to my best friend in America, Jacob Dean Redlock. And the challenge is that I'm trying to find something common here because we're from different area, different countries, and different cultures and stuff. And maybe my learning experience is not the same as yours, but I'm hoping that I can find a bridge. I can done something can help you learn English.
Good. See,
Okay,
and
so it
David,
doesn't
so
matter.
what do you do? Go
Yeah.
ahead and tell us, what is your job?
Oh, I'm a teacher of English,
Teacher of
and
English.
my
How long have
students,
you been teaching English?
yeah, for about 15 years, I guess, more
Since
than
put a
15
date to
years.
it.
Yeah,
15 years would be what,
15 years,
2010, roughly?
2010. Yeah,
Okay.
roughly. Yeah, actually above that. So
Something
I
more than that,
started
more than,
teaching when I was a high school student.
okay. How
I
did you
started
start
taking
teaching as a high
part-time
school
jobs
student?
as a personal tutor
hmm
and make some pocket money.
So you were an
And
English tutor
that's
in
what,
high school and later English
yeah,
teacher. We have a couple of people in the club who
yes,
are English teachers in China as well. And whenever I talk to them, I think about you. And they're still at a level where they're learning more and more English. They're intermediate level in English. And I always
yeah,
think, David, in my opinion, you're an inspiration
yeah.
to people who are learning English because, again, you've never left China, but people can probably already tell your English is really good. Why? How? How did your English become so? I mean, in many ways, we don't really like to use the word native because what does native actually mean? It means different things to different people, right?
Yes.
But I've always said that David's English is so
Yeah.
close to native that he's just like talking to one of my best friends at home. There's really no difference. I mean, how did your English get this good? What did you do?
Well, of course, I spent a lot of time working on it, but it all started with my childhood.
Mhm.
I was born with a severe stutter. Talking ability. And I was very shy and introverted. I, you know, so I was a loser. To put it simply, I was a
So
complete
socially,
loser.
you would
I
say you were
wasn't.
a social loser, is what you would say.
Yeah, yeah,
That
that's right.
sounds very
Socially,
harsh. When
yeah.
you say that in English, you say that to us, we think, "Shh, don't say that about yourself. No, you weren't a loser, you're a
But
winner." But I understand what you're saying. I think
yeah,
most people will
I
understand
wouldn't
that.
dare talk it. I wouldn't talk to anybody, and everybody
Mhm.
picked on me, and I was, very quiet. and I couldn't do anything well. I screwed up at school. I rejected my parents. Whenever my dad wanted to give me a hug, I just ran away
You pushed
because
them away or you get out of there.
pushed away. And just
Hmm.
I because I felt uncomfortable. I couldn't.
You
So,
couldn't
but
accept that
that thing,
that your family loved you? Would you go that far and say you couldn't accept the love that your father and mother had for you? You
my father beat me,
oh, it's a
on
very
stormy nights with a
I see.
broom. You know why? Because they thought this. If you beat your child with the
Hmm.
broom on a rainy night, and it will cure your sickness, your
Yeah, I've
stutter.
heard that.
I was,
That's one of those
yeah, I got beating for no reason. I got confused,
it's an ancient
and
cultural
that's
remedy, you could say.
yeah,
I got some good whoopings when I was a kid, but I don't think they ever blamed it
yeah,
on the weather. They said, "No, Jacob, this
yeah.
is how you learn." And I would like you hide and stay away from people as well. So I
Yeah, I
understand
was,
that
I
well enough.
started to think, they didn't love me anymore because
Hmm.
that was very weird.
Hmm.
I could
So,
not understand their love back then.
so how did this lead you to begin studying, practicing English? How did this lead you to that goal? So I can sort of see a connection, I think,
Um,
here. Let's see if I'm right.
yes, yeah, so I accidentally watched a talking show.
Hmm.
They're showing this guy. I'm not gonna tell you his name, but
Don't need to.
they So yeah, don't need to. So he made this speech and he was very confident, and he told us he was a very shy person. He used to be a very shy person, but he's acting so good on stage. I got hooked up.
Hmm.
I thought that's what I want to do too. But
I think I know who this guy
that's
is.
why.
I again won't say the name. I won't say the company that I think he started, but I think you know who I'm thinking, maybe. And it was a situation
Yeah,
where they
you
would
know what I'm
hold
talking
books
about.
in the air and they would say things out loud. And he was like one of the first Chinese social media influencers, maybe, English
He is.
influencers. That would be, yeah, okay. So
He's still going
if
like
you know,
that
you
right
know.
now.
Is he really? He's
Yeah.
still going now,
It's
even
still alive.
after
Yeah, yeah. It's still
everything.
here. It's still
Yeah, it's
going.
amazing.
After everything, after scandals and failures, and just
Yeah.
after
There's a
everything is
lot
still
that's
going.
happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
He's
really
my
a
father's age.
crazy, wink, wink situation.
Crazy,
That's all we'll say. But
crazy
I can't
could
believe
be.
he's still
Yeah,
around. But yeah,
yeah.
he was like the original, to me at least, he was the original Chinese English influencer before what, Douyin, before Xiaohongshu, before what
Before,
else? The mini
yeah,
programs of
before,
WeChat. Uh, so many different things that came along later. This guy was a big deal.
yeah, yeah. He even went abroad to promote his brand of teaching, stuff like Korea and
I didn't think I
Japan.
realized he
He
went
was
abroad.
crazy.
So he was successful abroad too,
Yes,
in most
he
of Asia.
went to. I wouldn't say successful, but he went to
Okay,
Korea to promote his, teaching styles
okay.
and
I
cause
see.
the
So maybe it
commotion.
wasn't as powerful in Korea or Japan or
Yeah,
elsewhere as it was in China.
let's say it's not appropriate for everybody, but it was for me because
Hmm.
I was shy. I need that. I need a
But it pulled
hero
you out.
figure
Yeah.
to just let it out, out of
Well,
my let my anger, my depression, everything, just let it out.
we talk about
Yeah, I
shadowing
kind
when
of.
learning English a lot. When I have students who want to learn dialect, I say to watch YouTube is easy. Find a YouTuber or find somebody on Douyin, find someone on Xiaohongshu, somewhere. Find someone who has an accent that you like, speaks the way you like, and has mannerisms, right? The way they move,
Yeah.
body language that you like as well, and begin to shadow them, do what they do, and that starts to build into your own personality. Do you agree with that? That sounds like what you're saying. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do shadow practicing a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm just not just the tones. I'm trying to imitate everything, every
Mhm.
single detail. Even the how they pause, and they pause and they use they talk, up and down, stuff like that.
The
I just
intonation, the
imitate
rising and
everything.
falling intonations.
Intonation.
Hmm.
Yeah, tell you something shocking. I used to practice this speech for over 1,000 times just before I go on stage and deliver it. And that's what I and later I won the first place in the competition.
So just
I can
from
still remember that.
practicing by shadowing
It's
more or
crazy.
less, you learn to follow intonation patterns, and you feel like you develop the intonation that you use today.
Shadowing and actually talking to foreigners.
Yeah. So where did you find foreigners to talk to? Did you just talk to, you saw, because I lived in China and I know that, especially back
Yeah,
in 2010
it's
and
hard to find foreigners.
a
Yeah,
little bit less in 2014, you had
yeah.
people who, I mean, well, yeah, just being a face that looks different. People would say, oh, La Wai, La Wai. And they would find you, hello, hello. This was a common thing when I lived there.
Hello, can you talk to me in
Did you do
English
that?
and stuff
Hello,
like
can you
that?
talk to me? Can you talk to me in English? Did you do that? Or did you meet people at
That's kind of very.
university? Or where did you find people to
Oh,
talk to?
that's a very interesting story
Excuse
behind
me.
it. So yeah, my father, my father saw me how crazy I was about English,
Mhm.
and he heard that there's a foreigner. In fact, then there was a foreigner at the high school. So he drove me there.
Mhm.
He drove me there in the middle of I guess it was a Monday.
Okay. So
So
beginning
we
of the
went
week, a
there and
Monday, maybe.
we couldn't find that foreigner.
Mhm.
It wasn't, I don't know if it was a he or she. Wasn't there.
Mhm.
We just went there for nothing. And I did not give up. I waited and waited, but still no, he's not there. So I had went back there on myself on next, I guess it's next week. I went there too, and this
Mhm.
time I got her. It was a nice lady from Africa.
Oh,
I remember that, and
interesting. Was she, do you know
and
which
went up to her.
country? Was she from South Africa or
This is
do you know?
some place like Jamaica. I
Oh,
remember.
Jamaica. So Caribbean, maybe.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
interesting.
So I went out to talk to her, and she was very nice.
Hmm.
And I remember what she said. You are very good at English, and then you are very good. You are very brave and stuff like that. And
Ah,
and
very
she
encouraging.
even invited me. She invited me to her apartment, and we
Hmm.
watched movie together. I still remember that movie.
Interesting. So when
It's
was this? What year
Shrek.
was that? Sorry, you said Shrek? Did you
Yeah,
watch Shrek,
Shrek.
the big
Yeah,
green
that's
guy?
Shrek.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, we
classic.
yeah we
We
watched
like
the
that
film
movie.
together. We talked and we shared snacks, and we talked for like maybe 2 hours.
Hmm.
What year? This
Yeah, about
was
where or thereabouts. It doesn't have to
this
be
was in
exact.
my high school, so it has to be like 2008,
I would
nine.
have guessed
You know,
2008. Just again, I know how old you are. I know
yeah,
when I met you, and I would guess
yeah,
2008-ish. Sounds good.
yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, so
2008.
I had a blast. I had a blast. So and that was the moment I truly fell in love with English.
Mhm.
I thought, oh my God, this is so great. This
What
is
was it
was
about English that you fell in love with? Why English? Of all languages you could learn, Spanish, Italian, French, Japanese, Korean, closer languages, why English?
I just love how it sounds. I just love the I have no idea. I just love it.
Mhm.
I love
Was
English.
there a specific dialect that you fell in love with? Do you know the English dialects? Was there one that you really liked? Because you have the dialect from where I'm from in the South, and we talk a little bit like this. And then if you get up in the
I like
mountains, you
that
talk
too.
like this. You can't understand what people are saying because
I
they're so
take the
fast, and you don't
accent.
know. Yeah. So
I
Was there a dialect you learned or just
I I loved American English.
hmm so like
British
general American
British
English, like
accent was not very, yeah, it was not very appealing to me.
mhm.
And I don't like to say water or something like water. Or
Water. I've had
I
a
prefer
lot of
water.
students who I don't know if I should say this. British people might not like it, but
But
it doesn't matter.
teachers
Americans
in
and British are
China
always fighting about the
teach
language.
British English,
Hmm
and they say can't instead of can't. You know, because
hmm
I find myself interested in American English,
hmm
and maybe it was because of that nice foreign lady.
hmm
She spoke an American accent. Remember, in my opinion. So
Maybe, I mean,
that's the
sometimes
reason.
your first touch point, we call them, first touch point with the language is the one that you want to
Yeah,
follow or the one you want to shadow. It strikes you. It's the one you get to know, the one you know. And
yeah,
a lot of people choose based on that. A lot of my Indian students begin learning British English. Makes sense why. Post colonial. If you
mm,
look at Hong Kong, the special autonomous region of China, you look at Hong Kong and you have a British foundation as well. Hong Kong's weird because you run
yeah.
into pockets of the traditional British dialect, but then you also run into
Mm.
pockets at the universities where people say, no, 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 I want American English. I actually have a student now who says he goes to Hong Kong universities. No, no, American English, not British. And it's funny.
Yeah.
It's like this. You can see a street
Mm.
fight happening in Hong Kong. British English, American
And I
English,
got into
British English,
and I got into
American
trouble.
English.
And I got in trouble. I used to correct my teachers in class.
hmm
I'd say, "Dude, that's not that was not the way to say it. You should say can't, not can't, and stuff like
Oh
that."
gosh, these arguments. They're what is the word? On social media, you see a lot of videos talking about the word. What is the word? It'll come to me in a moment. If I can't think of it right now, it's going to come to me in a few minutes. But not can't, not can't, but it's intonations like that.
They're
But
both
there's
correct.
one
No,
specific, yeah, they're both. Why? Why are they both correct? From your
this is just
perspective as a
different accent.
English teacher, why?
It's just like Chinese. We're different kinds of Chinese too. Accept that.
Well,
So
tell us a
we
little
have
more
a
about
different
that.
English.
How are there different dialects in Chinese too, and how are there multiple correct
Um,
pronunciations?
there may be thousands of different tones, and in Chinese, we say the most famous is the Cantonese.
Mhm.
But totally different from the Mandarin you hear today.
Can you say
Like
something in Mandarin
we
and say
say
something
ni
in
hao,
Cantonese?
yeah, ni hao in Mandarin, right?
Ni
So
hao in
it's like
Mandarin,
ni hao in Cantonese,
ne
ni
hao in
hao,
Cantonese.
like
Well, and then
听
too,
音
you
乐,
have the different
listen to music.
huas, the different Putonghua, right? And then Suzhouhua, Chengzhouhua. Can you say ni
Oh,
hao? We have it in Putonghua, that's Mandarin. Can you say it in
yeah.
Suzhouhua?
I can't say it in Suzhou.
You can't
Even
say
though
it?
I live in Suzhou, but I still can't say Suzhou.
I
Okay, I
don't
understand that.
remember which is which. I may have this wrong.
I'm
Suzhou and
originally
Changzhou,
from the
one was
north of.
Nehe and the other was Nehe. I can't remember which one. I want to say that Suzhou was Nehe and Changzhou was Nehe, I think, but I may have
Yeah,
that mixed up. It's been a while. But ni hao, right?
makes
Mandarin,
sense to
help
me.
my pronunciation. Ni hao,
Yeah,
pretty good. And then nehe,
yeah,
nehe, same thing, very different sounds.
very different, very
Often was the
different.
word I was
Yeah,
thinking of. People post videos on Instagram, and I've seen them on Xiaohongshu as well and Douyin, where people are
yeah.
saying you to sound like a native, and they say you to sound like a native, you must say often, often. And I'm like, no, that's how a British person says it. Americans, we might,
Often,
because when we're speaking quickly, I might
often.
often say often, it's fine. But if
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it,
You
or if
speak
I'm slowing
slowly
down,
because
speaking clearly, I will say often every time. Often, this is how I speak.
yeah, often.
Clear and consistent
Yeah,
English, right?
yeah, yeah. And the same thing goes to lots of different words like you say gotta, gotta.
Gotta, yeah, got. I've got to go. Is it
I
gotta or
I
got
gotta go.
to, or should I say have to? Because have to is even more proper. Gotta, dialectical in ways.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is a really important
They
thing,
said
isn't it? Talking
have
about
to.
this.
People
Have to,
have to
have
go,
to,
have
have
to go.
to. Right, we have so
Yeah.
much connected speech in American English. British English does it too, but when you get into American English dialects, especially in the South, well, the North too, but I guess I'm more familiar
Yeah,
with the South because that's where I grew up. But you get a lot
yeah,
of connected
yeah.
speech. Have to, gotta, I gotta go. I got to go. I have to go. I have to go. Just depends on where you
I
are
had
and
a
who you're
hard
talking to.
time with all these, because that's one of the major reasons why students here in China can't understand the listening competition very well. Because people say I've got to go, I've got to go. So they understand I have to go, but when you're like I got to go, I've got
It's
to go,
clear.
they
Have
was
to.
like,
I hear the
what
words.
was that? Yeah,
What was
what
that?
was
What did
that?
he just say? Excuse me? What? Huh?
What was that?
Yeah. And I mean, I
I feel
never thought about how difficult English was until I started teaching it. I mean, 2010, again, was my first year teaching in Suzhou. And
very
I started out
different.
teaching little kids. They sent me, I wasn't supposed to, but they sent me to two kindergartens in Suzhou, Fuhua Yun and then Meijiguo. I don't know if you've heard of these. Fuhua Yun and
Yeah.
Meijiguo. Fuhua Yun is on Jinjihu Dado. It's closer to like not Guangqianji. What's the other one? It's closer to where what was that place I used to like to eat? I'm forgetting the names. It's
It's
been a
close
long
to
time.
that
It's going
苏州中
towards
心、
it's
苏州
going towards
Center.
say again.
The mall is called 苏州 Center, 苏州中心, near
Kind
Jinjihu.
of close to there, I think. Yeah, I think that was pretty close. And then Meijiguo
Yeah,
was kind of closer out to where you live now. It was out that way. And I had to drive an
yeah,
e-bike. I had to find my way on an e-bike. And I taught
yeah,
kids, and oh man, that was, I was so lucky that my mother was a preschool teacher when I was a kid and I got to help her in her classes. That's how I survived. I don't I I wouldn't have survived teaching kids if I hadn't had a mom who taught preschool. That's how I
yeah,
did it.
yeah. So
And I told them all
your
the time, I said, "Look,
English
I am here to teach
is a lot more
adults."
standard those than lots of foreigners I hear.
Mhm,
You have a studio voice, very
mhm.
standard. I love it.
It's a lot of
Really
practice.
love it.
My
Yeah,
my speaking accent when I teach, especially, and when I talk to big groups of people, when I taught ski lessons, it was the same thing. When I was in high school, I was part of a radio television broadcasting program. And I was very lucky to be part of this.
impressive.
Everything I'm doing here, we did some testing, some sound checks, some video checks before beginning this interview.
Learn from that.
Even you probably wouldn't even notice, but you might notice if you have a keen eye that I've adjusted our video boxes to work in a mobile format. This is not how it appears on my PC talking to David. I've done a little bit of,
Yeah,
let's call it movie magic, right? And then you can see my recording space over here. All of this comes from radio, television broadcasting. I learned a lot in those classes, but I also learned how to
oh,
slow down, change the way I'm speaking, and to speak clearly and consistently for camera. That made a big difference. When I was a
yeah,
kid, I used to talk like this. If you see videos of me as a kid, I was born in Texas. I grew up in North Carolina. And this is when I get tired, I still speak this way, right? And there's a lot more of that Southern twang in my voice. You watch a video of me as a kid,
yeah.
hey, daddy, daddy, all right? Dad, daddy, right? But hey, daddy,
Again,
that's how I used to speak.
mm,
And I had to train that away.
yeah, you say damn instead of a damn.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Yes,
kind of style.
exactly. Exactly.
Damn.
So, David, tell us more about
Yeah.
your pathway to learning English. Again, you're listening to David. His English is pretty darn
Yeah.
good. And again, he's never been outside of China. It still impresses me so much because I have so many students who are working so hard to learn, to have a clear, consistent accent. Accent is hard. We have Italian students that struggle with certain things, Ukrainian students who struggle with certain things. We have students in South America who have particular things they struggle with. But somehow, David,
Yeah.
you speak in a very clear and consistent way. So, how did you practice this? Just shadowing? Or
You
was there some
gotta
education involved?
compare.
Tell
You
us.
gotta compare the sounds. You gotta tell the differences between Chinese and English. For example, there's no th sound in Chinese,
Mm.
so we say thank you.
I
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
I thank you, man. I thank you. You know,
Hmm.
it should be thank you. But we don't have that sound. We don't say 你吃过吃好吃.
Yes, yes.
We say
Good example.
好吃, right? 好吃. There is no 好吃吃饱. It'd be very weird. People thought you're
I love
retarded
the
or
face
something.
you're making. Yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
there's no such sound.
And
So you gotta
so
know that.
in Chinese, you do have an R sound, right? We know that Japanese people have
Yeah.
trouble with the R sound often. Like the
They
word
don't have that sound.
Lollapalooza was a word used in World War II to see where the Japanese were. If you say Lollapalooza to the bush and the bush says Lollapalooza, okay, buddy, come on. It's called a shibboleth. If you see a bush and you say
Yeah.
Lollapalooza and it goes, oh, and I'm not, please, I'm not making fun of anybody. Do not clip this, not just you, anybody
Yeah.
watching this. Do not
Just a
clip
joke. Yeah.
this
Just a
and
joke.
make me
Yeah.
sound bad. I'm not the founder of Lululemon who founded a company with a name that's hard for Japanese people to pronounce on
Yeah.
purpose. Not me. But
Mm.
if the bush
Yeah.
said "Ra Ra Perusia," you knew, okay, that's a bad bush.
Uh,
We should shoot it,
yeah, you're just
right?
using that as a reference. I know.
Yes.
Mm.
So for
So,
Chinese people, the
this is right.
TH is a
Comparing.
very challenging sound to make.
Yeah, let's go back to that. The
Sure.
th sound, you got to compare different sounds. You got to first is compare.
Hmm.
When you compare, you're gonna find out, man, there are so many differences here. You
Hmm.
cannot use the way you talk in Chinese to speak English. Because that would be, hello, my name is David. My home is Suzhou. You love Suzhou, right? That's right. Do you understand my Chinglish? That's how I talk
It's exactly what it
in
sounds like.
Chinese.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how you can't do that in English. You gotta change your tones and by
Change it.
comparing, the differences. You gotta practice, according to what you found, and you gotta practice purposely. You find one
I like that.
point,
Let
you
me
gotta
just stop you for
practice
1 second.
one.
Purposeful practice. Practice purposefully. Now, this is something you should
Yeah,
clip.
purposely
Practice purposefully.
find out the differences. Yeah, find out the differences and just practice according to that. Accordingly. That's
Hmm.
the first one is the first you got to crack is the th sound. And next maybe ln sound.
Hmm.
Ln people with with trouble with that ln sound in Chinese even.
Sure.
We
It's a
say
difficult sound to make.
牛奶 we say 牛奶 milk in
Neonai
Chinese,
milk.
牛奶 milk in Chinese. The people go like 牛奶.
Ah,
There are
interesting.
actually people in China from Hunan province that say 牛奶.
And
That's
that's how they
that's how they
normally would
talk.
say it. Like they understand
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
Hunan
yeah.
province.
It should be
Interesting.
牛奶. It comes from your nose, right? Nasal sound.
Yeah.
牛奶.
Seems
That's
like a
it.
very easy sound to
牛奶.
make. New,
牛奶.
new nai, new nai, yeah,
But they have trouble
new
with
nai.
that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so
that's it.
that's
How many
a major
different
difference here.
dialects are there in China? Do you know how many different dialects they claim in China? There are a lot. I'm not sure I have any idea, to be honest
More
with you.
than more than 500. Just
Oh my
imagine here
gosh.
within Jiangsu province, we have 13 cities,
Yes.
13, and we got 13 different dialects. And there are different ones in specific areas. Even in
Mhm.
Suzhou, there are like 7 different speaking tones and just different.
Yeah,
In
and
my
I mean
hometown,
I can think
Suzhou,
of
we talk
4 or 5
differently.
of them off the top of my head. I don't live there anymore. But yes,
Yeah,
it's over
yeah.
500 is just
So
crazy to think about. We talk about
it's
American English,
crazy.
Southern English, Northern English, Pennsylvania Dutch. What are some others I've cataloged in classes? Texan
And
English. We've talked about
and
Ocracoke
what's
Brogue,
crazy?
which is a weird one. But
Yeah,
in China,
And
500.
what's crazy about it? We don't even include people in Xinjiang, in the Mongolia. They didn't
Point.
talk that different and very different. They're
Hmm.
not Chinese anymore. Just they're from China, but they don't
They are
speak
Chinese because they
the
live in
Chinese
China,
way.
but the language is not Chinese. It's not
Language is
Mandarin. They learn
totally
Mandarin in
different. There's
school.
different writing, different
Yeah,
sound. Everything is different. If you conclude that, there gotta be 600 more.
that's amazing. That's just, and I would say for
Yeah,
an American,
different
this is what
minorities. Minorities, 56
mhm.
minorities, and speak
The
56
56
different
cultural
languages.
flowers. What's the Chinese for that again? The 56 cultural flowers? I know in English it translates to cultural flowers, but
Hanzu.
yeah, it's a lot.
It's crazy.
It
So
is great. And
comparing,
when I talk about
uh,
China in the US, I say the one thing most Americans do not understand about China, if you haven't lived there for a significant amount of time, I always tell them, you have to live with the regular people. You can't just go and be there for 2 months working for a company where you go to the company and come home. You go out to dinner with people from the company and come home. Yeah, you have to live there and have to be around the
yeah,
regular people to really get a sense of how many different types of people, languages, and cultures, how many people in general there are just in China. It's
yeah.
mind blowing
The world is
to an
bigger than
American.
you imagine.
Yes. And China's only one
Yeah.
small, well, I mean, it's a large part, but it's only one part of the
Oh,
world. Do you think? What was that?
1/4 of people live here. Okay.
And 1/4 of the people, this is true. A large percentage of the world's population do live in
A
China, in
big
fact.
part.
But then you compare it to the US, and we talk about how busy New York City is at Christmas time,
Yeah.
or you pick a time, right? And in China, it's incomprehensible. Last time I visited you, actually, is 2019. I went to Shanghai for
Right.
not Lunar New Year. No, no, it was. It was Lunar New Year. It wasn't Mid Autumn Festival. It was Lunar New Year. And
Yeah.
I sat in a McDonald's on Nanjing Road or East Nanjing Road. I sat there in a McDonald's watching a an escalator coming out of a shopping mall.
Yeah.
The entire hour I was in McDonald's, people did not stop coming down the escalator. It was crazy. And by the evening, the entire street was so full. I was moving by, not pushing really, but I was moving by people in the way you have to move by people in a crowd like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. They're at work.
They're at work. Yeah, people are busy.
Yeah.
So back to
Yeah.
you learning English. You had this woman
Yeah.
you knew when you were in high school. Did you study English in
So
university?
that's where I got my university. Yes, I chose English, business English as my major. I
Mm-hmm.
study business English. So I actually did foreign trading for more than a year
Hmm.
before I became a professional teacher.
Professional teacher. Okay. And
Yeah, I
what
worked
was your
in
goal
Shanghai
as
and
a
doing
business?
陆家嘴.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Say
I,
it again.
I, I worked in 陆家嘴area.
Lujazui. Okay. Then Lujazui, that's the
It's a
big tower in Shanghai with the balls, right?
big tower buildings. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very,
the
very
iconic
common.
building.
Very good.
Um, What was I going to ask you? So, business English. What was your
So
goal while studying business English? What did you hope to do when you finished with that degree or that training? What was the big goal?
I I thought I could use English to do business with foreigners.
Okay. So,
I
when
could,
you say business, do you mean
yeah,
like import export, something like that, or what kind of
yeah,
business with
import effort.
foreigners?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's
Write
just a guess
emails and stuff. And
because I've lived
I
in
was
China
a
and worked there. A lot of students want to work in import export with English, so I just took a guess with that one. I
I
didn't
was
know
a
the answer.
salesman. I was a lousy salesman.
I'm a terrible salesman.
Remember
That's
my
why I
first
let
order?
somebody else do the
Uh,
sales for English at the Ready. Very happy to let
yeah.
him do it.
So later I realized my passion and had always been English teaching.
Hmm.
So I left that position. Yeah. I went
Ever
to
since you met
Changzhou.
this lady when you were in
I
high
went to
school.
Changzhou from from Shanghai, and
Yeah.
that's where I met
It
my
sounds
best
familiar.
friend.
That's where we met. Yeah.
Yeah,
Teaching
yeah,
at
yeah.
a
Everything
small
connected.
school
Yeah, everything
in
connected.
Limong, in
NDA, right?
Limong shopping mall.
NDA. What do you call it? What's short for NDA?
NDI,
New
New Dynamic
new
Institute.
concept, new
Well,
dynamic.
yeah, New
Yeah.
Concept English. Now, New Concept English, that's the textbook that at least 2010, 2014, back in the early 2010s, almost every English training center in China used New Concept English textbook. And New Dynamic
ACE
Institute
is a
had
nightmare
one
for
and they
Chinese
copied
children.
everything out of it. That was hilarious to me that they had one textbook. I'm like, this would not fly in the United States, but in China, we just copy
Yeah.
it and use it, hand it out to students, easy.
It had its perks, it had its perks,
Right,
but
yeah, sure.
there are problems around that. Yeah.
And it was a fine program.
It
To be
was
honest, I thought
so
New Concept English was decent compared to some others I've used. New Concept English was
if
pretty
you use
solid.
it to learn grammar, vocabulary and stuff, it's good.
Mhm.
But the
And then,
conversations were too old.
so you learn most of your English from talking to this lady in high school, and then you learn English, of course, studying English, business English, and you
Yeah.
cracked the accent
And
issue by
yeah,
shadowing mostly.
by
What did
shadowing,
you,
comparing, and listening to
what?
uh, audio tapes, and
Audio tapes.
that's the most important part. Is I devoted myself.
Mhm.
You have no idea. I used to
Well, I can
just go
imagine
out to
because,
mountains,
hmm,
like towers, mountains where anywhere there are no people. I could stay there and just we
just
call it
listen.
yell English. Ah, practice, like crazy
Like a,
for
again,
hours.
wink, wink, crazy person
Like
practicing,
like
professing
I want to make it.
this
I want
specific
to make it. Stuff like that.
this specific
Yeah.
English program. Again, I won't name it, but maybe you can guess it by now if you don't know. But this program
Yeah.
was like a religion. And if I'm not mistaken, we don't
Uh,
need to dig into this one. We don't need to dig in this.
People call it
Didn't
brainwash
that
or something.
founder, David, didn't that founder get in some trouble
Yeah.
for being like a religion
A
at
lot
one
of
point?
trouble. A lot of trouble.
Okay, we
A
don't
lot
have to
of
say
trouble.
anything else. Let's leave that alone. But I
Yeah,
recall
yeah.
a story about this guy and an accusation of starting a religion, like a cult-like following. When I mean, you see people on the street, "Hello, my name is Adada," and you're talking like it looks a little strange. It looks a little odd.
Because you can't do that in public. You got to go to a remote area, to
Yeah,
practice.
in the US, if
Like
you do that in the
singing.
city, you do it in New York, I think people will just ignore you completely. But if you do that in our little pocket of Washington, D.C., people will probably look at you like, what's wrong with this person? If I just start speaking in Chinese up to the sky, they'll say, what is he doing? And people say, is he calling a demon? What's happening? They won't know.
Summoning. It's crazy.
So,
Yeah. So
again, from audio tapes, you listen to lots of audio tapes.
um,
This was
I would love to
before
practice.
podcasts were common. This was before you had a lot of online material to listen to. You had to listen to audio tapes,
Yes,
hard
yes.
copies.
Yeah, we didn't have many computers, and the internet wasn't that popular
Hmm.
back then. So we just listened to audio tapes. I got this audio tape, from Sony. It's big. I take
Hmm.
it and put it in my pocket, and headphones and stuff. I went
Or
to the
like a Walkman.
mountains
Was
and
it a
just to
Walkman by
practice,
chance? Was it a Sony
like a
Walkman?
Walkman,
Yeah.
like a big Walkman, yeah, and the big stereotype. I got one there and just practiced for hours, and so just for years. I could say I did that for 8 years. Eight years,
8 years of
almost
practice.
every day. 8 years of practice.
Golly.
Yeah, and I would go up to talking to foreigners whenever I got a chance. And my friends
And
all scared.
你好, can I practice my English with you? I remember people doing that, and it
I
would just scare
never,
me. I'm like,
I
okay,
never,
hold on.
I never do that. I never do
What
that. I
what just
just
happened? He just switched to
casually,
English.
I just casually went up. I just casually went up. Hey, hello there. My name is David, and are you? Is this the first time for you here in China? And it's stuff
Mhm.
like that. just talking.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's very kind, very cordial. Again,
remember
when I
how
say
I
people did
remember
that,
how I talked to you for the first time?
I do. Well, no,
I
remind me
just
actually, what's your story about
started
how we
naturally.
first talked?
Oh, it was I was in the office sitting there, looking at the computer and stuff, and I saw you walked in with the toothpick in your mouth. Is that kind of
Toothpick.
place?
I'm a notorious toothpick chewer when I'm like stressed
Yeah,
or
yeah.
tired. Yes,
So I thought, who's this guy? He's kind of nice. You know,
that's
let's
good.
just start talking. Just
And I'm not, who's that
yeah.
jerk with the toothpick? Who's this guy? Looks nice. Well, I remember like one of
And
our,
I even
go ahead.
said, so that's your thing. I said, that's your thing. The toothpick, that's your thing. I
It
said
was.
that.
It kind of still is if I
Yeah,
have one. I just don't often have one now.
yeah. And you used to
It's funny.
ask me for burdock tea. You
Hey, I was
remember
about
that?
to say that. This was our real bonding experience here. This is where David became like my best buddy because
yeah, I
I
got that
was
right here.
sick, just not
Yeah,
feeling well. And he introduced me to
yeah,
Bert. He says, you should drink this in your tea, hot water. And I'm like, what is this? It looks like a stick that's been cut into little rings.
yeah,
Do you have some?
yeah.
Yeah, this stuff, this. And he gave me bags of
Yeah,
this
this
stuff.
stuff.
I would put it in my tea, and I mean, maybe it was a placebo, I don't know, but I do think it settled my stomach. I do think it was nice. I enjoyed it.
Mm,
I still buy it. We have an
refreshing.
Asian market not far away, and I do buy burdock there, and I always think about you
Yeah,
when I buy it. Like this is
refreshing.
a David
Yeah,
thing.
that's our first bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Then we started talking more and more, and then started going to meals and stuff. And you talk to me about Madison, your ex, crazy ex.
Oh yeah, that
Remember?
no, that's not crazy, X.
Is
Just
it
at the time, I don't think we really knew
Madison? Is it
what was going on.
Madison?
Yeah, it's but not crazy. Well, you said that. You
let's just drop that.
let's put that on you and not me. You know, you're
You
being.
did
We
not
would
say
say
that
in
word.
English,
I did.
in the
Okay, you did not say
U.S.,
the word. I did. I just,
we would say you're being a bro. You know, a bro, a brother. You're being a bro, saying, "Look,
yeah, yeah,
guy,
yeah,
get over
yeah,
that situation, move on." Right? And that's
yeah.
the nature of what you're saying.
You,
Not that I think that
I saw
person's
you.
crazy or there's
I
no
saw
hard
you
feelings
suffering
either. What
from
was that?
that relationship. So
Say that again.
I saw you suffering. You suffering from
Well,
that
you know,
relationship. So
and let me be honest with you. I told you this back then, but that whole thing, my first year in China was really hard because a similar, a more direct
mm,
end came to the relationship I had that first year, and that was a very, very difficult change then. And the second time, it reminded me a lot of the first time. It was different. It was definitely different, and she handled it in a very different way, and it's fine. And actually respect her for that. It just kind of ended. But
just
you know, it reminded me so much
yeah,
of the first
you
time.
can.
And
She
for me,
can't.
what was so hard,
Yeah.
David, is it's happening again. That's what it was. And it took me years to figure that out. Like it happened again. Because
Yeah.
I know, like, when you go to China, it's a long way away. You're a long way away. And most Americans have an
Oh,
idea of what they think you're doing in China
sorry. I just
or
remember
why they think you're going there.
Amanda, not Madison.
Well,
Amanda.
this is a different person. Now, let's stop with the names. You be careful because you're going to get me in trouble. This person was another one that David and I talked about. And again, David married the girl he was dating.
Yeah.
It worked out for David. Serena, yeah?
Oh, my first love. Yeah, my first love, my wife,
Yeah, his wife.
Serena.
So,
You know her.
you know, if Serena broke up with David, I would say, yeah, you're crazy ex too. So again, David's being a bro. This is not a reflection of these people, and I want to be very clear, just in case
Yeah,
this is clipped or
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
sees something and says, "Oh, he thinks." I don't think any of these people are bad people. I think good things about these people.
It's
My feelings,
um
if I was upset,
just wrong
those are my
time,
own, right?
wrong place. Yeah,
What was that?
was wrong time, wrong
It's
place.
wrong time, wrong place, and it's just the difficulty of
Yeah,
being away. I mean, when you're that far
yeah.
away,
Just
it's
some people can't handle. Some people can't handle long distance relationship.
well,
You know,
there's
just
that
that's the thing.
aspect, and I don't know if I would put that on them either and say that's the only issue. I'm sure there are some other issues. Being away is hard. But from my what I can
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about is my perspective where I was in
yeah.
living in China. And when you're the person who's away and your link to home is mostly that person, when that link
Yeah.
breaks, it's very, very difficult. And that again, I knew this the second time around, the second year I lived in China, but in my writing, in my journal, in the years following leaving China that second time, I realized like my feelings about both of those situations were intensified because that was my link to home. And I'm in China dealing with something very different. And in the US, I say it again a lot. You don't understand what it's like to live in such a different culture unless you've done it. And it's not just being there for a month or two. If you go and you stay there
Mm.
for a year, it's very different than just traveling somewhere and
It's
then going somewhere
different.
else because you're dealing with all the cultural differences, all the ups and downs of the cultural differences.
New
You're dealing with
atmosphere, new
the
people, new
political, the
cultures,
government
new.
system, and you know, my passport was stolen. You remember that mess? That was a mess. All of that, just
Yeah.
dealing with all these regulatory things all the time, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So yeah,
that's beyond the scope of
let's
this
just
discussion, this interview.
yeah, just skip.
But
Yeah, let's
yeah,
skip
it's
that.
funny you
Let's skip that.
remember
Let's go back to
all
let's
that.
get back to
But that's how we
language
met.
learning. Okay.
That was our connection. And yeah, I mean, what I can say about what David was talking about, David was a bro. David was there to help me get through difficulties. And it's not just relationship difficulties, it's the difficulties of just navigating through the system and
Yeah, we
even
had
getting
lots
my
of dinners.
visa again, getting my passport reissued. David was helpful in that. And that's a whole long story. But here we are. And David, you left NDI. At NDI, was teaching English there easy for you? Or did you feel
Why I
limited?
left?
Yeah.
Because I felt not appreciated.
Hmm.
I was a teaching assistant. Remember, I
Hmm.
wasn't a
This is a
teacher.
this is what I want to hear. Yeah. And this is what I think one of my
Yeah,
students
my
now
English,
would like
as
to
you
hear
know
too.
it, is so much better than the
Hmm.
teachers. The so-called teachers. But I
And it
was a
was. And it
freaking
was.
teaching assistant.
From my perspective, his English was better than the other teachers and even the people who were
Yeah, I kept
teacher
talking to the
managers.
principal about it. The Emily, the manager, remember her?
I remember
She wouldn't let me do it.
she didn't like
It's
me.
crazy.
She didn't like me at all. And I
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
bat for you once. I had a conversation with her. I said, look, his English
uh,
is better than all of their English. You don't need to put him in charge, but you need to use him as an asset because he really is a good
yeah.
teacher. He cares too.
So
So,
I left, and I left Changzhou for Suzhou,
mhm,
pursuing teaching career,
mhm,
and I got my first gig, first professional, first job as a TOEFL. I taught TOEFL in TOEFL, in Suzhou. So that was my uh, first step. So I went there and then just started teaching, and I realized, man, Suzhou is so much better than Changzhou.
mhm.
And we moved to Suzhou, and we
And it
purchased
is.
a place in
Suzhou is where it's
Suzhou.
at. Suzhou is a good place. Changzhou's okay too. I like Changzhou
Yeah.
just fine, but I like Suzhou the best by far.
Oh, so people from Jiangsu province all know that Suzhou is the best in Jiangsu.
Everyone says so. They do. They say,
Oh, for
I
me,
mean,
Nanjing.
Hangzhou is popular too, but people who live closer to Suzhou, I mean, again,
Hangzhou, yeah, Hangzhou got that crazy vibe. It's always
mhm,
busy.
yeah, completely.
People
It's a
walking
big tourist
fast and
area because Shihu, Westlake, is there, and everyone goes to see Westlake. Suzhou is quieter than Hangzhou. It's a little bit
quieter,
touristy,
more
but it's
beautiful.
not as touristy.
Mm. More Chinese, I think. I
Or
like it.
Chinese, maybe. And it is. I
Yeah,
think Suzhou is a very, very nice blend of East and West.
yeah.
I think it's a very nice blend of what you find in Shanghai, which is just another big major city for the most part. It's a little special too,
It's
but
a combination,
it's a nice combination.
traditional Chinese and modern buildings and stuff, and we have everything, have it
And
all,
there's a huge amount of art in Suzhou, a massive amount of art
Yeah.
in Suzhou.
Oh, Suzhou gardens are famous all over the world.
The gardens, the
It's
art
crazy.
centers, the
Temples and
music, the
gardens and
opera.
museums. It's crazy.
museums, the silk
Yeah, yeah, it's
production in
crazy.
Suzhou, the pottery in Suzhou. There's just so
Yeah, yeah.
much. The
Silk.
literature, I don't, my Chinese isn't good enough. My reading, my spoken Chinese,
Mm.
it's gotten worse over the year, but my reading I wish was a lot better because there's so much that has
Yeah,
been written in Suzhou, like The Art of War, Sun
yeah,
Tzu, right? The Art of War was
yeah,
written nearby, yeah? And the mountains
yeah, yeah.
very close to Suzhou. We may have gone
Mm.
there together. I
Yeah,
can't
right.
remember. We may have gone to those mountains. I can't remember. Do you?
We did
Was it you or was it
actually with
I,
my brother, me and you. We went there hiking.
I thought so. Okay, I thought so because I
Yeah,
do
and
remember your
I
brother.
took a piss, and you took my picture.
I still have this picture too, and I use
And
filters and effects to add rainbows and sparkly colors and butterflies.
yeah,
Every once in a while,
I was a
I
fat
send
ass
this
back then.
photo to David.
I was pretty fat. I remember I was
Makes me
pretty
laugh.
fat compared to compared to how I look now. I
You
was
have
pretty
lost weight.
fat.
You do look good. Yeah, you've been working out.
Yeah,
Right?
I
What do
do.
you do?
Yeah,
You ride something, right?
cycling.
Cycling.
I'm a
Lots of
cyclist.
cycling.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
every day. I love it.
David, let's we should probably have another conversation because this has been really excellent,
Yes.
but I don't want to take up all
Yeah,
your
this
time
is
and it is getting later here. Why don't we end with just a little segment where we talk about your advice to people learning English. So, again, listening to you throughout this discussion, hopefully they hear and see what I hear and see, someone who's really practiced hard and
okay.
you've never left China and you speak this way. I'm talking to you like I do a regular friend. I'm not slowing down and trying
You're
to
not slowing
help them
down. Yeah, you're not
understand,
trying to use simple words.
and
Just
you're not either.
yeah, I know.
So, how do
Yeah.
how do people get where you are? How does someone do what you've been able to do?
So yeah, let's just sum it up. First, you gotta find your motivation, why you do things. The whys are more important than the whats.
Mhm.
So then you got comparing sounds, practice accordingly, right? And practice a lot makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. And then you gotta listen. I used to listen. Oh man, I used to listen to English like 12 hours a day. It's crazy. It's important to you have to find the things you're interested in.
Mhm.
For me, it's always anime, comics.
Yeah, there you go. That's how a lot
Yeah.
of American
Yeah.
youth learn Japanese is anime. They
Yeah,
read
you can
anime, they
find
watch
tons
anime.
of free Japanese English
Hmm.
dubbed anime. You
Hmm.
can watch. Yeah, I just take the audio out of the videos and then put
Hmm.
it in my Walkman and just start listening. Just
So you say find
listen.
something. We can simplify this and say find something you
Find
like to listen
something
to.
you're interested in. It could be
Yeah,
anything, and
number one.
TV,
I give this
sports,
advice all the time. You have to be interested in it.
TV
If you're not
shows,
interested in it, it's going to be a slower and more painful
even music.
process.
Yeah, even music. And
Hmm.
there was one time I was very interested in rapping songs. I listened to that,
Rap. That's
and I
interesting.
could understand that. Oh, Eminem,
It's
rap
a lot
god.
of there's a lot of dialect in rap
I
and specific
yeah,
slang
I could
words.
understand that. It was
Yeah,
amazing. It was amazing.
that
He
is
was
amazing.
talking very fast.
I'm amazed.
Yeah, and the very important part of this, I found one person that
Oops, you froze. Let's see if you catch back up in just a moment.
why why haven't we mentioned him?
There
Tony
you are.
Robbins. Do you remember him? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it
And
was
I
unstable.
listened
Just
to Tony Robbins. Do you
there you
remember
go.
him?
Yeah, I do, of course. Incredibly famous
Yeah.
motivational
He
speaker.
talks he talks very fast, right? Very
Very
fast
fast and
talking.
very emphatic, with a very emphatic, quick tone, the way he talks. That's probably not a good
Yeah, and motivated and
example, but
stuff.
you
And
get the
that
point.
yeah, you can listen to him. I
Hmm.
suggest you go listen to him. Listen to his audio tapes
Mm.
and listen to his programs.
Mhm.
He's talking about a
Well,
lot of
and
stuff
these guys
about
are really
how they
good
improve
with body language too. The motions they make, the way they speak, the way they make points.
gestures.
It's yeah.
It's crazy.
So they're really, pardon me again, they're
And the
really
crazy clapping.
all of that. They're a great way to learn powerful body language also. Now, you don't need to always talk to somebody like this. You'll scare them away, right? If you're always coming at them like that, it's okay, all right, well, but yeah,
No,
exactly.
no.
But if you can
The,
learn some, what do we want to say? Some muted body language, just small things. And when you're talking and your hand motions, I talk with my hands a lot because I teach and I've
yeah.
taught online a lot. So I own my video box with my hands. They're
Say
not coming after you, but
interest
they're,
is the best teacher, right?
uh-huh,
Interest is the best teacher. You find out you gotta find what you are interested in.
hmm
Listen to that and kind of imitate that. There was a time I sounded very much like Tony Robbins,
yeah, because you
talking,
took on
motivating
his
stuff like
his persona, you took on his
yeah, just
mannerisms.
yes. So third, you got vocab. Don't just memorize words from textbooks, and so you got to
hmm
read to it needs just to build up your vocabulary. Read. For me, comics. I read comics.
Read comics. Hey,
Even though they're
if it
all
works,
in
it
capital
works.
letters, it might be weird for you at first, but you just start to get used to it. Just
hmm
read, 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 read. Yeah.
It's popular
So,
for kids to
and
read graphic novels nowadays. My daughters, we make them read chapter books, books with no pictures that just have words. But a lot of kids now, as a gateway to reading, begin with graphic novels, which are like comics. They're not comics. There's a little more text in each bubble, right? Instead of in a comic, it's,
yeah,
like blam, pow, and all these emphatic things happening. But in a graphic novel, it takes comics and blends it with literature. So they're retellings, more or less, of famous or classic stories in a more
that's good.
literate way, where it's a nice bridge to get kids interested in reading.
Yeah,
And maybe there's one they read and they say, "Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to read the full version of that," and then they move into chapter
Mm,
books more naturally. My daughters loved graphic novels for a while.
yeah. Retelling is also a good way to practice your language use.
Retelling, like
Just
retelling stories.
retell, retail,
Mm.
retail short stories.
hmm
Start from simple short stories.
hmm
You retell it in your own language. That's very useful.
Well, that's
And
good.
also the last but not least, you gotta have a big heart to
Big
learn
heart.
foreign languages. Big heart, yeah. It means it doesn't matter where you are. What
hmm
matters is where you are going, right? So
I like it.
don't
It
be
doesn't matter where
just
you
make
are, matters
mistakes.
where you're going.
Yeah, we're going.
hmm
So it doesn't matter if you make a few mistakes or something. Everybody does. Just start doing it. Big heart. I think outgoing people have a better chance of mastering foreign languages than people who
Mm.
are a little shy or something. You just go out there
Because
and
they
have
go out and they
fun.
talk to people, they practice
Have a big
with
heart.
people.
Yeah, be a
hmm
people person. Be a people person.
I like it.
Yeah, have a
I
big
tell my
heart.
students all the time, you have to be brave. You have to get over this idea
Yeah,
that you're not speaking well enough, get over the idea that you aren't good enough, and just speak. Use your English. Move it from where you store it, yeah, back in the back part of your brain. This is oversimplifying it. I did study neuroscience and I could be technical, but there's no reason to be. You move it from the back of your brain to the front of your brain. And you
mm,
have to be in
yeah,
situations where you're using it to produce
mm,
speech, so you're
yeah.
moving it into your active memory.
Yeah, to the point where you feel like in English it's just on the tip of your tongue, just
I like that.
blurt out.
Yes,
Yeah. You don't have to think in Chinese and just and then translate, just grab words and phrases, just go. It's
that's
on
the goal, is
it's
to make that
there
transition
from
from
here
translating
to
everything
here and here,
to
right?
producing.
Here, and here, just to use it. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
important. Mm.
Excellent. David,
Big
do you
heart.
have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to say to Are students in English at the ready to encourage them to continue learning, or people who may be stuck or feeling like they're not progressing? What might be your advice to them?
Well, I'll just say that again. It doesn't matter where you are.
Hmm.
What matters is where you are going. So start
I'm
small.
going to start saying that
Start
to them.
and start small. Yeah. Start. Just do shadow practicing. Notice, study the differences, even tiny
Hmm.
differences. And start reading. Just start. It
It's like
matters. It
imperatives to them.
matters. What matters is you do it
Reading.
instead of worrying all day, and then you do small things to get you started.
Stop worrying. These are some important
Stop
things.
worrying. That will waste tons of energy because
Good.
we all have this limited energy, right? So, so like 99% people spend their energy
We have a
focus on their
battery, to use the
problems
metaphor
and
of the battery.
instead of instead of the solutions.
Hmm.
You waste most of your energy worrying, not
Trying to
doing,
navigate all those worries
and
rather than just getting
finding the
out there
right,
and
people are just finding the right ways of learning English. There
mhm.
are no better ways or worse
This is
ways.
excellent.
You just start do it. Yeah, use it. And second, have a big heart. You just gotta be brave, like
Who doesn't like
like what you
having a big
said.
heart? Who doesn't like the idea of heart?
Yeah. Use language, use foreign languages to open up yourself. Just to open up, be
Open up
outgoing,
yourself, open
playful,
doors of communication.
playful. Yeah.
Be playful. I like that too.
So
Be
English,
playful. Play.
English
Yeah,
is
we get
very
so serious, don't we? We as
play it.
adults,
Yeah.
we're
Don't.
so
Yeah.
serious. Everything has to be perfect. Play. Be like my daughter Lily and
Yeah.
just
Be
play.
playful. Yeah.
Good.
Listen to what you want to listen to. Sing songs. Just go for it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Have fun. And
This is good
also,
advice, David.
English is another like a culture, different, very different from Chinese.
Hmm.
In China, people we know the nature we have is like more conservative, or just you don't have to be presentable or something like that. But
Sure.
English is a lot whole different from the culture in China. So maybe it is different from your culture too. But
Uh,
you got to
this
accept
is
it. If you
insightful.
want to learn it, you got to accept it first. If you want to learn Indian, you have to accept this.
Oh, you
You
mean
have to
so
accept it.
the mannerisms?
The,
Yeah.
the, the check
I mean, well, you're not wrong, and
yeah.
I'd be very curious what my Indian students have to
Stereotype.
say about that because there
Yeah.
are
Never
mannerisms.
mind using the word stereotype. You have
Sure.
to uh, accept what the language is and
Hmm.
what it brings to
And that
you.
language is such
So
an essential part of culture. It's the vehicle for
yeah,
culture, isn't it? It's how
yeah.
people tell
I'm
stories from their
I'm a
culture.
I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini.
Yes.
So people say Gemini have like two sides.
Yes.
I feel when I talk in Chinese, I'm a different person. When I talk, I'm a different person. So
You've talked
I'm
about this
using
with me
English
before.
now. So I have I have activated my English in just that way of thinking. So
Well,
that's a
and let
different
me ask
David.
everybody too, listening to this, did he stutter?
Yeah.
Has David stuttered in English at all? I've not heard a single
Oh,
stutter. You said you used to stutter in
used to be.
Chinese, but in English,
Yeah.
you don't stutter. Why?
Um, well, I well, it's amazing. I used English to conquer that, to
Hmm.
conquer my stutter.
Hmm.
It was hard to believe. Maybe there's no scientific evidence to it,
Hmm.
but learning another language could boost a person's confidence and speaking ability, mother tongue. So everything
It's a huge
that's
self-improvement, isn't
scientific.
it?
That's scientific. If you are down or if you lose confidence, and then I suggest speaking another language
Hmm.
might do you good,
I love it.
right?
I think this is wonderful advice.
Yeah,
David, I want to thank you
yeah. If
again
you
for joining me this evening. It's been, and this morning
yeah
for you. almost, no, it's afternoon for you now, isn't it? We're 13
midnight
hours
for you.
different. So I'm glad we could do
Oh
this.
my
And
God.
I think we're likely to have another conversation like this in the future, but it's just so good to see you, one, and glad to see things are
Yeah.
going great. But I love your story. I've told my students about your story, and now they
Yeah.
can hear it from your own words and they can see this person who, again, in my opinion,
Yeah.
your English shouldn't be this good, but here it is. And you've worked really hard. You put in the work, you reap the
I'm
fruits of
loving
your
it.
labor, right? It's all about the time you
Loving it.
spend working, trying, learning, and improving. Be brave,
Yeah.
like you said. Have a big
Yeah.
heart. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a big
Yeah,
heart. And we definitely should do more talks like this. Maybe next time we can talk about different topics and stuff.
sure. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that. Maybe we'll
Maybe
do a little
more.
Jacob and David series, and I can
But
always send you these
yeah,
videos as well, and you can use them for your purposes too. But
for
David, for
example, if
this
you
one,
yeah,
go ahead, say what you were saying.
yeah, sure. I'll just if you happen to see a Chinese word or something or a Chinese
Mhm,
thing,
mhm.
and you want to explain it to your students, so there's no better way
Oh, it could be
to
fun.
explain it. Yeah, so
Use
I'll
my
explain
friend
it.
David. Sure. It is
Yeah,
so
I'll
lots of
explain
good
it.
ideas coming forth from this conversation. But David, this time,
Yeah,
thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed it, and we're likely to do this again. Thank you all
yeah,
for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned more about this person I talk about in classes all the time. For those of you not in the club, English at the Ready
yeah,
is our club. EnglishAtTheReady.com is our website. I'm Jacob. You'll also see my partner, Michael
yeah,
Anton, and hope you enjoy it. Learn, practice, work on it, shadow, be brave, have a big heart. I think those are our take homes. David,
yeah,
final thought and
yeah.
goodbye. All right. Again, thank you all, and we'll see you again in
Yeah.
class. Bye bye.